Welcome. Well, we're still at it, aren't we? We're at lesson 243 in the workbook, yet we're still at it, yeah, which is why there are 365 lessons. And that's just the beginning, not the end. We're still at it thinking that we know it all, aren't we? I mean, today is all about being really, really honest with ourselves. And I invite you to be deeply and yeah, if it's brutally honest, I mean, if that works for you, fabulous. You could be lovingly honest as well, just as long as we don't, yeah, as long as you don't try to kid yourself, right? We love to do this. I've done it multiple times in this lifetime. You've done it multiple times in this lifetime. We all attempt to convince ourselves, don't we, that we know what's up, that we know what's best in every circumstance. I mean, every, no stone unturned. We're conditioned to be, in many societies, what we refer to as a rugged individualist. I mean, that's the way I was conditioned. I grew up in the United States. I've lived elsewhere, but I'm back here in the United States. Yeah, rugged individualism. The Lone Ranger, right? Everybody's got to go out and plow through the world and make their way. It's a cultural value, and perhaps you live in a place where that is also highly valued. We're encouraged to think that we know it all. Really, we're not, by and large. Perhaps you had a teacher or a parent or a friend, someone that you've worked with that has encouraged you to lay your ego aside, but by and large, we don't have that gift given to us a lot of the time, do we? Something that we end up seeking in our adult lives. Maybe in middle age, likely in middle age, possibly prior to that, possibly after that. But whenever it occurs, we reach a point where we begin to really, truly start thinking for ourselves and questioning the values, the morals, the premises that we were raised with. And one of those that certainly comes up for questioning in the spiritual path is the fact that we know it all, that we can handle it all, that we're rugged individuals, we're cowboys, cowgirls, the Lone Ranger, we're tough, right? Independent, self-sustaining survival units. Fuck the world, right? We got this. Those kinds of attitudes. Yeah. We come to realize the wisdom, the beauty, and the power of saying, of myself, I know nothing. I've tried to run this show completely on my own, hasn't worked out for me. Now, if you're still at the stage where you believe it's working out for you, great, no problem. Do you have the peace of God? Constantly. Not, sometimes not, every 5 years you have a beautiful experience or something like that. Do you have it constantly? I mean, all the time. And if the answer is no, then there's work to be done. As we say in positive psychology and transformation, there are growth opportunities. In truth, there's no growth to be had. You're not broken. We are one with God, and our work, so to speak, is in simply laying our judgments and the ego aside and acknowledging that of ourselves, we really don't know shit, to put it that way. Yeah. We really can do nothing of ourselves. We need to call upon help. It's part of spiritual practice. That's part of taking a teacher, no matter what path you're on. It's a way, a very powerful and necessary, by the way. It's a very powerful way of saying, I need help with this. All of the things that I have attempted have not brought me lasting happiness. And today, I'm just going to take the time to be real honest with myself and say that, admit that. It's okay. It's the start to awakening. Lesson 243 here in the workbook for students says, today I will judge nothing that occurs. Today I will judge nothing that occurs. Translation, whatever happens, I'm not going to think I know best. Now, on a couple of slightly more literal levels, it does mean that if you see your neighbor engaged in an unhelpful behavior, you're not going to pop off and say or think to yourself, oh, what an asshole, loser, right? Rather, you're going to take the gap and awareness when you're finding yourself in that thought process to forgive. Yeah. It's about being honest with ourselves. It's about not thinking that we can do it all on our own as a rugged individualist, as a stylish, classy entrepreneur, as the Lone Ranger. As we come to realize, we hit constant roadblocks on that, don't we? We might go a little bit farther this time, or be a little bit more successful in our own definition this time, but we still hit the wall, so to speak, of not having the constant peace of God. And that is where this workbook comes in so handy. It's so beautiful, it's so powerful, it's so beneficial, because we break down that thought process a piece at a time. It's gradual by design. It's gradual by design. So we can start with some of the exercises that we've taken a look at that may not have meant very much to you at the time. And you may have found yourself thinking, what the hell is this? This shirt does not mean anything? Okay, why am I spending time on this? Well, 243 lessons later, you come to realize that that had a purpose, that exercise, however weird or however farcical you may have found it at the time, has a definite, legitimate purpose. And having stuck with this process long enough, we can now see that it's been calling into question everything we hold as supposedly true, bringing it to the light. As the Course puts it, bringing truth to illusion. So today, as every day, I invite you to do just that, to bring all of these illusions, all of our concepts to the light of truth. We bring the illusions, our preconceived notions, our judgments, to the truth. This is a quick and speedy way to get into that mindset. Today, I will judge nothing that occurs, nothing that I see, nothing I hear, taste, touch, feel, smell, right? I'll leave all of that to my guide, to my teacher. And of course, in Miracles, that's Jesus or the Holy Spirit. So I leave all that to my teacher. Let him judge for you. Yeah? Because you can rest assured that his judgment, or hers, or its, or theirs, the judgment of the Holy Spirit is foolproof. And your judgment is not. Don't worry, mine's not either. Can you truly say that you see and know all ends, right? That you see and know what's best for everyone involved in a, well, on the surface, multifaceted situation at all times? Can you 100% say that everything that you think, say, and do is going to be a true extension of love with nothing left out, no one left out, that brings maximum benefit to every single living thing? Can you say that with 100% certainty? And when you discover that the answer is no, then be glad, be really glad, right? That you have help, that you have divine assistance. Because you do. You do. And lesson 243 is all about calling on that divine assistance. When I or any teacher talks about getting out of our own way on the spiritual path, this is one of the central ideas behind that. We step to the side and let the voice for God, our teacher, take over. It's leaving the ego to the side. And the more we become aware that we should do that, and the more we do it, the happier we become. It's inevitable. So understand that no matter how long it may take, or how far off or seemingly impossible it may appear to you, you are on the only path there is for any of us, and that is the path to remembering. That's full awakening. There's a lot that you can do right now. And, well, happily, it's the only moment that exists, the present. So give it over to the Holy Spirit. Use it for his purposes. In other words, the purposes of awakening and love. Choose love, in other words, and see how much differently you begin to experience this lifetime. See how much differently you begin to relate to other people, to all that lives, to the world in general, to yourself. See how much kinder you become, much more patient, much more forgiving, loving. And above all, right, know that it's very, very powerful to say of myself, I know nothing. Please help. Powerful words indeed. All right. We'll see you on the next video.